On June 16, 1989, Susan Penner put her 7-year-old son and 9-year-old daughter to bed and went to sleep herself, never imagining that a phone call in the middle of the night would force her to confront her past.
You hear about the cycle of violence with abusive spouses, and I think there was something that must have really attracted my sister to him initially, and then she just got hooked.
Got a big day tomorrow, another day of school. Yeah.
I just heard like that he pushed her down a few times and that kind of thing. I know it was an on-again, off-again relationship. Of course, he was a children's father, and I feel that she probably wanted to keep part of that relationship alive and going for the kids' sake, feeling that they needed both a mom and a dad.
Mom, sleep well. Sleep well.
He'd been making threatening phone calls all night. She was praying to God that he wouldn't come and hurt her. And then she drifted off to sleep.
Hey!
At 2:54 a.m., a call came in to Christina Osborne.
Help me, please. What's the problem? He's gonna knock down my door. He's gonna kill me. He has a gun. He has 5 of them at home. He's gonna knock down my door. Listen to me. Calm down. He didn't know. He didn't. Calm down. Who is he? At Bobby's store. Is he a boyfriend, a husband, or what? My children's father. He's gonna kill me. What's the address?
I motioned to the dispatcher to get officers rolling there.
When we continue,
I thought she was dead.
Hello?
I heard a horrifying breathing come back on the phone.
I saw blood, but I saw no head.
Every Monday night, Discovery Health Channel will make you cringe, cry, and wonder. How on earth did they survive? The answer is somewhere between the marvels of modern medicine and the pure power of the human spirit.
Going up was easy, coming down was easy. The sudden stop that bothered me.
Impact Stories of Survival hits tonight at 8 on Discovery Health Channel.
Female 415, male half with a gun. Female screaming, trying to get...
I'd heard 4 or 5 shots in the background. I thought she was dead.
Hello?
I heard a horrifying breathing come back on the phone.
Ma'am? Can you hear me? Are you okay? I've been shot. You've been shot? Okay. We've got help on the way, okay? Stay on the line with me. Where did he go? He's still there, hon? Okay. Can you... I know it's real hard for you to talk to me. Can you give me his name? If you go back to bed, I've been shot. Do you know where you were shot at? Hon, listen to me. My legs are killing me. What? My legs are killing me. Okay, where were you shot at, you know? My legs. You were shot in the leg? Yeah. Okay. Susan, you're doing an excellent job. Please help me. Honey, we're on the way, okay? Do you know what he was wearing? I think he's still at jeans and a shirt. He's gonna shoot me again. He's in the house? Okay, she believes that he possibly may still be in there. Okay, one more. Okay, listen to me. We're on the way. We're on the way, okay? Help is on the way. The unit's responding. The suspect still is inside of UWM, 6'1", in jeans.
one of the police officers closest to the scene was Nancy Amos.
As the information kept coming in, I started trying to get a better picture of the complex, where the apartment is, possible exits for the suspect to get out of. You have to work with what you have and what you're getting, because you don't know what you're going into.
Do we have any vehicle description?
Honey, we're on the way, okay? Where are your children at? I think she went back in the bedroom. he drive? Do you know? Big blue truck. A blue truck? Okay, do you know what type of truck? Chevy. A Chevy?
The vehicle to the suspect on speeding is a blue Chevy truck.
Where are you at in the house right now? You're in your bedroom? Okay. Where do you think he may be?
He might have left.
He may have left?
He'd shoot me some more if he wasn't gone, probably.
Okay.
We're confirming the suspect still inside. She's hiding in the back bedroom. Is not sure if he's still there now.
How many shots did he fire?
3 or 4.
He shot 3 or 4? Okay, how many hit you?
I don't know. I'm afraid to look at it.
Okay, don't look. Don't look.
I was her only source of help at that time. I knew I had to calm her down.
Okay, and listen to me, okay?
I knew this was going to happen.
Okay, Susan, you're doing an outstanding job, okay?
By this time, several of the officers had arrived at the complex. We didn't really still know at that time if the suspect was in the apartment or not. We had been contacted by somebody in the parking lot saying that they think that the suspect had left. Even though you still receive that information, you don't know how genuine it is. It could be a setup. So you still stay on your toes and keep an alert.
Ready? Go. Echo, please! Echo, please!
I'm back here.
She still was on the phone at the time.
My kids are in the other bedroom.
Susan, who are you talking to?
A cop.
Are you sure?
She definitely was in pain. And at that point, the main concern is to get medical help to that person.
Once the scene was secured, paramedics were allowed to approach.
I kept her on the phone with me until the paramedics got in there.
Oh, be careful.
I had built a bond with Susan on the phone.
Okay.
Once I hung up the phone, I was real shaky inside, not knowing if she was going to be okay. Even though I'd never met her, I felt like I was her friend.
At the trauma center, Susan was treated for 4 gunshot wounds to her legs. 2 hours after the shooting, her children's father turned himself in. He pleaded guilty to assault with a deadly weapon and was sentenced to 7 years in prison.
And everything's going to be okay. Okay, you understand?
1 year after the attack, Susan has completely recovered from the bullet wounds. She and her 2 children have also found the strength to get help in healing their family.
Right now, we're just trying to work on getting ourselves straightened out. The more we go to counseling, the more I see what this has done to my kids, you know?
It's real hard. I trusted him then. I don't want him to ever come back here.
He used to hurt me and stuff, and it scared me. I'm worried that my dad's gonna come back and shoot her again.
I think Susan's a very courageous woman. She's fighting right now for her rights. No human being has the right to do that to another human being, whether it's beating them up, shooting them, verbally abusing them. Women need to know that they don't have to take this.
There's a lot of people out there that are more than willing to help. And if it means you have to pick up 911 to start it, as in Susan's case, then that's what you've got to do.
I had people who cared about me, starting at the 911 phone call. I don't think I've ever needed anybody more than that.